Hey guys, welcome to Creativity Level Zero. I'm Steve.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks everyone for joining. So, guess what, Jim?
What happened?
I did it. I finally went to the grocery store
You
after
did.
3 months. 3 months
Wait, now
of
did you
never going to the
go
grocery store.
after it was officially open to go? Because I think right
No,
now Jersey lifted its thing.
yeah, Jersey lifted its thing, but no, funny enough. Thank God, because what I've been hearing is there's lines out the door for like every store
Oh
at
yeah.
this point.
Hmm.
But no, I went yesterday, so it was still everything was supposed to be closed off. Um, but I went there, and it wasn't because I needed food. I could have still survived off of the white rice that I had in my house.
I don't know how you do it.
But I decided what I couldn't deal with was not having allergy medication.
Oh, that's true. Hmm.
I was like, I can't do this. I can't tell if I have the coronavirus or if it's just allergies.
Hmm. And it's been the allergies were bad last weekend.
Yeah,
I took the allergy medicine every day for a whole week.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I typically do. I have to because
Oh, yeah, that's
or else
expensive.
it gets bad. Yeah, exactly. And it goes by quick.
I try to take one and then be like, can I survive a day without it? Because it's so expensive.
Yeah, I'm like, why risk it? Because when when I have a bad allergic reaction, it gets bad. You
Yeah,
know.
I just I just let the tears go down and the
I don't
snot
feel
roll.
it, guys. I swear.
Oh, I never told you one time. A few years ago. So I was in my old apartment. One of our mutual friends came over and we went out to play whatever sport we were playing. And we came back and he was just like looked sick, and he was saying that he didn't know what he was sick. I was like, oh, it could be allergies. And he's like, oh, I never had allergies. And I was the same way. I recently got them and whatever.
Yeah, you can
So,
develop it. Yeah.
yeah. So in my apartment, I recently bought one of each of the allergy medicines because the first few didn't work for me. I
Okay.
just didn't know which one works. And I gave him Claritin, which was like the cheapest because that's the one I started with.
Right.
And he took it, and then like an hour later, he looked worse. And I was like, I think it's amplifying the effects of the allergy. And then I'm like, all right, can you mix Allegra and Claritin? It's like, just do it. And he
No,
just,
you shouldn't be taking more than one
yeah,
antihistamine at a time. Yeah.
well, he did. And it worked.
It worked. Yeah. Just
Science.
overload.
Yeah.
His liver probably felt it too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So what did you get at the store?
So, like I said, I went there just for allergy medication. I left there $350 poorer. So I bought everything. I literally filled my shopping cart with everything.
That's crazy. So you're one of those old ladies who I see in the shopping center, not a White Walker, just a regular older lady. And and the cart is a full-size cart.
Yep.
And for those who aren't from America or like the States, we used to have shopping carts that were I would consider single person shopping cart. You push it around and it's right in front of you and that's that. And then we upgraded to what is now the American standard shopping cart, which is like you can almost lay down in it kind of a thing. But some of the stores like Walmart have upgraded to the jumbo shopping cart.
That's right.
So
That's
did you
right.
get a jumbo shopping cart or a
No,
regular?
it was just a regular shopping cart.
Okay,
I just got
regular.
that. But there was so much on it that I had to hold it as I was
Oh,
in the shopping
oh,
cart.
like
That's just
Santa.
how much. Yeah, exactly. It was bad because um I'm down to like 3 rolls of toilet paper,
Ooh,
so I was like,
gotta
just
get
buy all
those.
the toilet paper. I
Hmm.
had to. I I haven't left to go buy shop in forever,
Yeah.
so I needed everything from
Hmm.
the ground up. So
I know the feeling. So did you put the toilet paper in the bottom section or did you put it in the place where people put their kids?
No, I couldn't put it in the bottom section because I also needed water,
Oh,
like
so you got
water
bottled
and
water.
seltzer water and stuff. So that takes up the whole bottom section. So I have to
Um,
just put it right in the middle of
that's
the
such
cart.
a waste.
All the space. What am I gonna do?
That should be the last item, and you just throw it on top.
Throw it on top. Yeah, that's why then it was like falling.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you one of those people that you go through every aisle, or did you kind of know what you were getting and go aisle to
So
aisle?
typically when I go to a grocery store, and this is in general for all forms of shopping. I know what I want. I go to where I want, and that's it.
Right.
But yesterday was one of those days where I say, "Oh, I pretty much need everything in every aisle." So let me just go up and down, and then at the same time, I put all my grocery list on my cell phone, and I was like, "Oh, this will be perfect." And then I get in, and I was like, "Oh, wait, I don't want to touch my cell phone."
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
I have to go everything through like, you know, just by memory. So I might as well just go up and down the aisle. And I did forget one item, and I was upset because I got some buffalo chicken strips, and I forgot the blue cheese. No,
Ooh, rookie
no!
mistake.
Now I gotta go back out. I gotta somehow find blue cheese. How am I gonna find blue
Why
cheese?
don't you just use ketchup?
Ketchup on
What
buffalo
about
chicken?
mayo? Put some mayo and ketchup and then make a sandwich out of it. Boom, spicy chicken sandwich.
But a spicy chicken sandwich should also have blue cheese.
Well, you have the mayo.
I guess so, maybe. I don't have pickles either.
Is that a requirement for a spicy chicken sandwich? We're not making a
Yeah, it tastes
Krabby
so good.
Patty here.
Krabby Patty. They always look so good until you realize it's made out of crab.
I know. They tuck it in with the cheese on the Krabby Patty.
It's made with love.
Yes, those Krabby Patties always look so delicious. I get so hungry.
We have to
Yeah,
find someone who can make it.
you know, the, I would imagine the meat. I think I'd like it first off better if it wasn't crab right off the bat. If it was like a hamburger. But when we were younger and we went to like middle school or kindergarten, we used to get frozen hamburgers for lunch, like at the cafeteria. They'd give you a hamburger, and it had that distinct taste that was like manufactured chemicals. I don't know how to describe it. I love those burgers. And I can't find them anymore because they just I guess don't make them the same way anymore, which is
When I was
sad.
a kid, they used to make these like microwavable hamburgers with the bun.
Ooh.
You just put it all
Wait,
in the
what?
microwave.
With the
Yeah,
bun?
yeah. It came in like a plastic
Is
wrap,
it
and you just had to
frozen?
open the plastic, and the plastic was able to be microwaved, but it steamed it. So basically,
Oh.
the bun wasn't crispy like a bun should be, but it was fine.
So,
You know,
you want to hear something funny about this? So every time I go to your house, and I pass White Castle, and I say, "Can I have White Castle?" And you're like, "No, we're not going to White Castle." I will
no,
also
it's all
note White Castle's not even on our list of fast food
thank God.
places. Yeah.
Been way at the bottom.
As much as I
Even
would like speak up a second, I could barely hear you. Say it again.
so even below Domino's.
Below Domino's. Wow.
Yeah,
That's low for you.
I know.
Um yeah, so I did see White Castle in the supermarket, and I don't
Yeah,
know how does
sell 'em.
that work?
I think you're just supposed to like shove them in the microwave or so. I don't know what it is. So my parents have actually had it
Okay.
before. We went to somebody's house and they served that, and then they said, "What is this?" Because it didn't taste
Wait,
right.
somebody served them White Castle burgers.
Yeah, that they bought at the supermarket. They shoved it in the oven, and then when they took it out, it was just like I don't know if they were supposed to put it in the oven or what you're supposed to do with it,
I'd
but they were
imagine
very
microwave. So
fried.
oh, I mean, I'd
Yeah,
imagine microwave because when you said soft buns, it reminded me of White Castle,
yeah.
where
I mean, that's what they do. They steam everything.
right. So like if I'm expecting a bun to be the same consistency as like Jello, then I'll throw it in the microwave. But when I expect it to be like a bun, no, I don't want it in the microwave.
Yeah, exactly.
And I microwave everything.
That's I try not to. Only leftovers to
Yeah,
truly
right,
microwave.
right.
I don't really cook anything like frozen or fresh in the microwave at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I actually cook in the microwave because you're right. If it's like a canned food, it's technically a heat up. You're not really cooking it. If it's leftovers, it's
So
a heat up.
yeah, exactly. So speaking of microwaves, I found this funny list. It
You
says,
should speak up too while you tell me this list.
all right. I found this funny list. It's
Yeah.
called 15 Hilarious Unspoken Rules of the Workplace. Guess where it's
15.
from?
Uh, I don't know.
Our most reliable of sources, Cosmo.
Oh, another Cosmo. There, I gotta
Uh,
say, Cosmo is 0 for 1 right now.
they are.
The
They are. They disappointed me.
the
So
famous
now there's
ice cream list was better. I like the
yeah.
ice cream list.
So these are unspoken rules of the workplace. Okay.
Okay.
And number one, the number one unspoken rule of the workplace
Wait, wait, wait. Let
is
me guess it. Let me guess it.
yeah.
Number one. Number one unspoken rule. Oh,
If you listen to my segue
okay,
into
fine.
this,
Fine, fine.
you might have understood. You might be able to guess it.
Oh, no popcorn or fish in the microwave.
Well, popcorn is fine, but fish, yes, no
No
fish in the
fish.
microwave.
Oh.
It was the number one, yeah.
Ooh.
Because
Popcorn definitely not fine, by the way.
if
People
you
would,
burn
even if you cook it, people are like, it smells like a bakery in here. You know?
it. Yeah, I've been to a workplace and
You've been
there
to a
was somebody.
workplace?
Well, I mean, like I went to a workplace that somebody had um, microwaved fish, and literally the whole hallway
Ugh.
smelled of fish to the point that the owner of the company made it an official rule that you're not allowed to microwave fish because it
Wow.
stank so bad all over the
That
workplace.
kind of
Like
makes me
never again.
worried, though.
Why?
Is my workplace now just like a big airplane where the air is just recycled?
I mean, yeah, technically,
Because
yes.
like I feel like at least in an airplane they can pull in outside air and shoot it out.
Yeah, but can you imagine if they had to cook fish on an airplane?
They do. They serve you fish.
No, they serve you pre-cooked fish, and it's already like ventilated to the point that you just have to unseal it, and you're just like, here's a fish.
Still, it's fishy.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but it's not too bad. Yeah. So that was the number one rule of the workplace.
I believe that.
I think we could all agree that that's a good rule.
Mm-hmm. That's a rule
Okay.
of my home too. I try not to microwave fish.
So the number two rule, and I feel like all of us can relate to this. If the meeting room is left open, any food that is left behind can be taken. I always call it whenever I see it happen. I always say, "Oh, the vultures are swooping in."
That's true. They order like platters for lunch, and then there's like cookie platters and like chip platters and sandwich platters, and then the meeting ends, and like there's usually a gap between when the administrative assistant comes in and cleans it up or puts it somewhere, and
Right.
like it's out there, and that's when people just kind of walk by. They're like, "What is that?" And they just
It's like, oh, well, there's no one here. I guess we can take
hmm
it.
hmm I think that is a taboo rule. I think that should not be an official rule at work. Even on,
It's an unwritten rule.
I
Yeah.
think it's a bad unwritten rule.
You think it's a bad rule
I
to
do.
have vultures swoop in? Why?
Because then you don't know if they're saving it for other people. Like it could be leftover meeting snacks.
That's true. That's true. But then
Sometimes
it's your responsibility. I feel like everyone knows that if you leave food out, vultures swoop in.
you got to guard it. You're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you're trying to save it, you immediately, as the meeting ends, take that and shove it in a fridge or in your office or
I do
something.
miss that at my old job. We used to do that all the time. It used to be like, oh, we're meeting so and so during lunch. What should we order? I'm like, I don't know, sandwiches, chips, cookies, whatever. As long as
Yeah.
it's free and right here during work. It's like, do you wanna take your work break at your desk eating your leftover boring food, or free takeout food at work?
It's always, yeah. You're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I could use my boring food
I'll
tomorrow
leave it
for.
in the fridge.
I'll leave it in the fridge.
It'll be even worse tomorrow.
It's 2 day old leftovers.
hmm So wait, does that unwritten rule extend to things that are in the fridge at work?
No, that I feel
But what if it's an
like
opened container of something?
it doesn't matter. You don't know if that's someone's lunch or
Well, let's say
whatever.
it's like
I've always wondered what kind of monster goes into the work fridge,
eat someone
and you
else's
hear
lunch.
stories all the time and then they open up someone's lunchbox and like eat their bologna sandwich and close it back up and put it right back in the fridge. What kind of monster do you have to
It's
be?
a hungry monster, Steve.
Come on.
So I'm thinking along the lines of like, there's milk in the fridge, and there's like regular milk, skim milk, there's like almond milk, and then somebody, and I don't drink coffee, so it doesn't bother me, but somebody will get coffee, and they'll open their fridge and be like, which one is safe to take? And then they just take one and put in their milk.
Well, if one is communal,
How do you know
that
if it's communal is what I'm saying.
I assume you talk to people and be like, oh, let's get a communal milk or something. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. I don't know how
So,
these.
but what if you're not part of this communal club? Like if you opened the fridge and you saw a whole thing of opened chocolate milk, is that allowed for
Milk.
just a
It's not,
glass?
you don't even add that into your coffee.
Can you just have a glass of that whenever you want?
No, I don't think so. I have gotten into that predicament when you look in the freezer and you'll see boxes of like popsicles or
Ooh.
ice cream, and you're like,
Ooh.
did someone really just bring in all this for
Wait,
themselves?
they brought like a box of 8 ice cream sandwiches and
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
eating
Like,
one a day?
I guess I don't know.
And you're like, will they notice if one's gone? I know I would definitely notice.
See, that I don't feel as monstrous about. I feel more monstrous if you're like, if you bring just one meal for today
Right.
and somebody goes in and just eats your sandwich. You can't ever confuse.
Does that happen?
Yeah, I see stories on the internet all the time of people just constantly taking it. I think I've seen one where someone put a passively aggressive post-it note that said, please don't take my bologna sandwich again. I know you're always stealing my bologna sandwich every day, and I'm gonna catch you one day. And then then the person who stole it put another post-it note under it. Says, "You'll never catch me at like a bologna."
But like, how much of that is just internet, like, comedy, where like somebody
I
could
mean, it
just
could
make that
be
up
big, but
to
I
be
do.
funny?
I mean, okay.
You
Let's
think
leave
you're
it up.
gonna? Do you think you're gonna?
Let's leave it up to the people. If you guys have a story
That's right.
that you've been to work, you brought lunch, someone just flat out stole your lunch.
Any piece of the lunch.
Yeah, just any piece of it. Tell us below, because he doesn't believe it. I'm
Don't
sure it happens
believe it.
all the time because you guys are monsters.
So here's what I think is gonna happen. I think people who bring Lunchables or frozen TV dinners or like prepackaged food, completely self-contained as a meal, I think that gets stolen. Because somebody would be like, I don't have
In a bag.
ooh, in a bag.
Like, you bring a bag to work, you won't just bring your Lunchables.
Well, so
So I don't know
so
any of them brings Lunchables.
so just an example. But like
There might be Lunchable adults out there, but
that's true. Pizza Lunchables.
you need to start upgrading to lean cuisine.
Well, that's it. So like people would bring in their lean cuisines, and they'll have
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 in the fridge for all different people, and they all knew which one they brought, so they'd take it and heat it up.
Right.
But there was a bunch in there. You could just take one. Nobody would know.
I guess so. Until it's the one person who's like, "Where's my lean cuisine?"
To be
Out
like,
of all the things Still, it's only got 200
I
calories.
know. I survive on this.
All I want for the day.
There was someone at my work who she was thin and she had a lean cuisine every day, and I got hungry just watching her eat that lean cuisine because I was just like, how can you survive? And for those people who don't work in an office work requires additional food. I don't know why. It requires more than just a sandwich. You need a pre-lunch snack, a lunch, and then a post-lunch snack. If you have to do
It's just pure boredom at that
that's
point.
right. If you just have a sandwich at lunch and like a drink, no way you make it through the day. No way. There's no way. I'm getting
To all you
hungry thinking about it.
hard people. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so number 3, I feel like we're gonna skip because I don't really see it, but again, I'm not a coffee person, so I don't really know. It says, "Don't use another person's mug." I
Uh,
don't know how
I
often
mean,
that happens.
it must happen because it was on the episode of The Office.
That's right. That's right. When was it Jim used Andy's mug
Oh
or whatever?
yeah.
Yeah, they did do that.
I feel like I would never do that though.
You would take someone else's mug.
No, I would never do that.
That you would never take someone else's mug.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? If I didn't have a glass, I would.
Yeah, let's say yours was dirty for some strange reason. You decided to, drink some stolen chocolate milk for breakfast. And had a coffee for
It'd
lunch.
have to be more than dirty. It would have to be lost.
Oh, okay.
Like there'd have to be no other cups. I'd have to be like, okay, can I drink this before Susan gets back? And then just
You just flat out know you're stealing her
I
cup.
would drink it and then wash it. Yeah.
Okay, so number 4, I don't know if it's really an unwritten rule, but everyone does this, and everyone gets upset when it happens to them.
Okay.
Okay, and it's when you jam the copy machine, walk away as if everything is fine and leave it for someone else to fix it.
So I have a story for that.
Oh no.
I have 2 stories.
2 stories. Okay.
All right, but they're together. The first story was essentially I was at a job where there was only one copier, and I needed to print stuff in a certain way, and there was only one printer that can do it. So when it
Right.
did get jammed or it was out of paper, it sucked, but you had to kind of do it yourself. However, at my other jobs, when there's multiple printers and you can decide where to send the print job, I will send it, and if it's out of paper, I will cancel it and send it to a different one. I will just I
Instead
will
of changing the paper, yeah.
That's right. And it'll get to the point where like if it's a big print job, like let's say I got to print like 10 presentations all in color. So it's like one of the color printers, laser color printer. I'll like take a quick walk down and see the printers, be like, how's this one doing? So it's full ink, full paper, that one.
See, for me, I anticipate when I print stuff, I usually print in bulk at
In
work.
bulk.
In bulk, yeah, because you need to like add pieces of paper in like every shipment. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I anticipate me running out of my stuff way ahead of time.
Okay.
So that way I can print my stuff. If it runs out of paper, somebody will need to print something.
Oh my god.
So there's no paper, and change it, and then I would finish whatever I have to do. So I do it like the day before,
What kind of a monster are you?
Not a monster who steals bologna sandwiches from other people,
True.
but I am a monster that, will make other people do my work for me.
Oh. Yeah, I can't imagine. I
Okay.
guess if you don't need printed stuff like right now, kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know ahead of time when I'm gonna need it. I'll be like,
Got it.
have enough for today, but not for tomorrow. So let me just print it now, and hope everything gets resolved.
All right. So what is the rule about printing when someone else is using the printer? So with some of the printers,
I don't know, just send it right in the queue.
so you're a rookie.
A rookie.
With some of the printers, you can either pause or cancel other people's jobs.
Oh my
So
god!
like,
Cancel people's job.
what I would do is I would pause it so they would go lower than me on the queue. So like, let's say they have 3 jobs. I'll pause like 2 and 3. I'll print 3 jobs, and then I'll resume theirs. So when they're printing, they're like papers coming out, and then like they're like, what is this? It's not mine. I'm like, oh, looks like mine got through, and then like I'll take it. And it's especially important when they have big jobs.
Oh
You know
my
what I
god.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess I gotta learn those tricks, but it's okay. I already print way ahead of time, that it doesn't matter. Don't need mine right away.
Right, right.
Okay, so number 5 is, and we kind of touched on this in the past. There are designated number 2 bathrooms.
Definitely. We already touched on this one.
Yeah, every office has their own designated number 2 bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is, if I'm wearing headphones, I don't want to talk to you. You see people all the time that you're like, do I talk to this person? Because they're just like listening to music or something.
See, that sounds like a gym etiquette, not a work etiquette. Because at work, even if they're on a call, if I come by your desk, I expect you to either put yourself on mute and answer something, or tell me to email you, or whatever the case is.
Right.
Because if I see you with headset on, music or not, I'm there because there's something important.
Right, but what about small talk? I think it's referring to like
small talk?
Yeah.
I think you can't get around that either. If I saw you with your headset listening, especially listening to music, I'd be like, "What are you listening to, Steve? I'm bored." And then like, there it is. Yeah.
Okay. Number 7 is kind of in the same category. If you want to listen to music, you should use headphones or earphones instead of
Makes
just
sense.
blasting it through some speaker.
Yeah, I think that's normal. I think that's a real rule. I don't even think that's unwritten.
Right. Number 8 is kind of like a big summary of the previous ones that we've had on the list. It says, "Don't touch my stuff." So if you have your designated desk or your stuff, like your pen, people shouldn't touch it.
You know, I don't think that's a real rule. Because I definitely don't abide by that rule.
Number 9 is really, really freaking weird. I don't know what it means.
Okay.
Tell me if it's an expression. Please don't suck the marrow from a bone at your desk.
I guess maybe don't do personal things at your desk.
I don't know. I've never heard that expression, but then it just says, yes, that happened. So maybe it literally means don't suck marrow from a bone at your desk, which is really weird. I don't know.
That sounds like a sexual type of thing, so probably not.
Probably shouldn't do that at work also.
No, don't do that at work.
When you're what? Oh, when your boss asks where your work wife is, say she had a home emergency, even if you know she left early from work, and then message her immediately so she knows what the story is.
Your work wife.
So you don't know about work wives and work husbands?
I'm not work married. No.
It's basically like somebody in the opposite gender that's basically acts like your husband or wife, but only at work.
Why would I want that?
That it just happens sometimes.
It's like all the work of a wife, but then there's the benefits.
I think it just happens. I don't think you want it. It just happens.
Okay.
Like you become like good friends with someone of the opposite gender, but then they're like sometimes they're nagging you for things. It'll be like that.
I'm glad that's the only thing you thought about when you thought of work wife.
Nagging. I
know. Great job, Steve. Do you have a work wife then?
No, I don't.
Or a work husband? Is that allowed? Or is that PC?
Like some people at work would tell me I have a work wife, but I never would have a work wife.
Can your work wife be your boss?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Is your work wife your boss?
No, I don't think so.
All right. These are getting worse and worse. Are there any good ones left?
I'm really trying. One is okay. I'll skip the next one.
Yeah, skip the ones that suck because some of these suck.
The next one is 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon equals 5 p.m. on any other work.
So that's an interesting one because that used to be true. Used to be true. Now we have the problem of a lot of people work with people in different time zones.
Oh, right.
So does that also mean that, 9 a.m. is really like 11 a.m. in some zones?
No, no, I think it's just saying you pretty much check out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like imagine it's a Monday at work, and
I
everybody
guess
you
it's
and everybody
11
you
a.m.
work with doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like everyone doesn't come in till like noon. Like,
Yeah, I guess that's sort of in the same boat. Yeah.
hmm, okay.
It's only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that people who do like their full 9 to 5.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all the other good ones. There's a lot of just weird ones that seem oddly specific and must be just like a Cosmo.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I first found this list, it got me to thinking about just in general all these unwritten rules. And I found one that's also not from Cosmo, so might be a little bit better. But it's called 10 Random and Funny Unwritten Laws of Life that are relatable. So
Hmm.
unwritten laws in life in general.
So wait, these
And
are
the
unwritten laws.
of life, yeah, like
Hmm.
picture like the law of gravity,
Okay.
but having to do with like people's lives. Okay, so like big overarching
Hmm. Got it.
principle laws.
Like
Okay,
work provides you pay.
sure, but they're gonna be funny and random.
Okay, because that wasn't funny.
No, obviously not.
I'm ready.
Okay, so number one
Yeah.
is called the law of mechanical repair. It says after your hands become coated with grease, and I feel like should be just in anything. If your hands are coated in something, your nose will automatically begin to itch, and you'll
Hmm.
have to pee.
Hmm.
I feel like that always happens.
That
Like
does happen.
you have cheese on your hands. Don't ask me how I
Mm-hmm.
have cheese on my hands, but I have cheese on my hands, and
I could see
your nose
that.
starts to itch, or you have paint. Your nose just is automatically
You
itchy.
know,
I don't know what it is.
I've never seen you get Cheetos on your nose. And
Because
you,
I lick it off my
yeah,
fingers
but you
before.
eat a lot of Cheetos.
I definitely have it all over everywhere
Right.
at that
Is this the same as like when something doesn't work and I try to show you and then it works and I was like saying it doesn't work the whole time?
Way to just go ahead. That
I'm
was
sorry for knowing
yeah.
everything.
Come on.
Sorry.
It's number 6. It was called the law of the result. When you try to prove someone that a machine won't work, it will, and vice versa. You'll be like, it doesn't work. I don't know what it is, and then they go and use it, and they're like, I don't know, it looks perfectly fine to me.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I swear it wasn't working a second ago.
That happens a lot. Okay. Okay.
It happened to me just like last week at work or something. I had one of those mornings where
One of
nothing
those
was
mornings.
well, none of the machines were working to the
Okay.
point that I just left my entire workstation and just took over someone else's because I was like, I'm done.
Dang.
Because I tried to fix it and I ended up breaking 2 systems. Tried to fix it.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
gosh.
I'm just not going to try to fix it. And then I told like a manager, and they called someone in to fix it the next day. And literally, what they said was, "Oh, they fixed it. They just unplugged it and replugged it." And I said,
Ooh.
"I tried that. I did that like 3 times, and it didn't work. Obviously,
Well,
I know
Steve.
about unplugging and plugging it back in, but the one time this person did it, it
Mhm.
worked."
Do you think that the IT guy or whoever, the machine guy, is like very smug and he goes around and fixes problems and then he tells people, "Oh, you just have to plug it back in." Like that was
Oh,
the issue.
you know what? I thought about that in my head
Oh,
when
did you?
it happened. I was like, I did that so many times on both machines, and it wasn't working. So I don't know how it worked for him. I bet you he did something different
Mm-hmm.
and also unplugged it and plugged it back in, and somehow is
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in."
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
I know.
I
I
do
tell
that
you,
to people sometimes too.
what you monster!
Well,
You
like I
both
simple I simplify it. I simple I simplify it so we don't have to have a discussion around it. Like if
okay.
somebody said, oh man, it was broken. Thank you. Show me how to fix it so I can fix it again. And you're like, oh man, they'll never fix this on their own. It's so complicated. It's just like I just plugged it back in. It seemed to work. And then they're like, ah, got it.
Oh, maybe that is what they did instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second is one everyone should know. It's called the law of gravity, but it's with a twist. So it's anything that can, any like tool, nut, bolt, screw, or anything that can roll is going to roll to the least accessible corner of the room. Like underneath, your TV stand, or underneath a desk, it's always ends up rolling to Timbuktu.
I
Yeah,
thought
go
I
ahead.
thought you were gonna say something funny about the law of gravity. I thought it was gonna be, as you age, everything just sags. Like, anything that could sag,
Yeah.
sags.
Anything that can't sag will
Yeah.
sag.
It's like my arms sagging. Oh.
But yes, so I know it happens all the time. Then you roll your eyes, and you're like, oh my god, get on your hands and knees, go grab like a broom or something to try and fish
Mm-mm.
that out of wherever it is. Always happen. Okay, number 3, the law of probability. This one's really funny. The probability of being watched is directly proportional to the stupidity of your act.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do some
You
stupid
do
stuff.
something cool all the time, and then you say, "Oh, did you see that?" And everyone's like, "Nah, I didn't see it." You
Mm-mm.
know. But
That
as
was too
soon as you
cool.
do something stupid, you trip, you fall on a cake or I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what, but everyone's seen it, and everyone will make fun of you at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
interesting.
yeah, that one seems right. Okay, next one. The law of random numbers. If you dial a wrong number, you never get a busy signal, and someone always answers.
Hmm. I could see that being true.
Yeah,
Who dials wrong numbers?
I don't know. This day and age, I don't think too many people dial wrong numbers anymore. But I feel like in the past, when you used to not just Google numbers and just click call,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
you had to physically punch in numbers. People punched in
Mm-hmm.
wrong numbers all the time. And I've had a story in the past where someone called me and I told them it was the wrong number, and then they say, "What? This isn't this number?" And I told them, "No, that's not the right number.
Oh
You're
wait,
the
so
one."
they called you and they were like, I was expecting to call number 5678, and you're like, this
Yeah,
is not 5678.
this is not five. This is 5678. I'm like, are you sure? It's like, yes, I'm sure. No, you're lying to me. This is definitely I definitely dialed 5678. It's like, no, you didn't, because it's the wrong number, and this is not the number you dialed. And I'm like, okay. And then they hung up and then call again. I said, this is the same person. You dialed the number wrong again. They're like, that's not even possible. I
Oh
don't know
my
what you
gosh.
did.
What did
If you
they?
keep dialing this number wrong.
You should have just pretended to be someone
Yeah,
else.
at that point. Be like,
So
yeah, hey, how's it going?
I think you told me this story before because I used the technique when I got a wrong number dialed. When somebody called and was like, "Hey, is Rob there?" And I was like, "No, he's not here right now." And they were like, "Oh, okay. Can I call back later?" I was like, "Yeah, whenever he's free." And that was it. Never called back.
So, um, one time I tried to call you,
Hmm. Pretty
and
easy to do because I'm in your phone.
I accidentally called your house at home,
Oh,
and your dad picked up,
hmm.
and you sound a lot like your dad.
Do I?
And so I was just laughing and joking right off the bat, and your dad was being really weird, who is this? And I was like, oh, very funny. I like it. That was a good joke. I was like, no, I don't know who this is. And I was like, what?
Giving my parents strokes.
But he wasn't answering my questions. I was like, is this not Jim? And he wasn't answering because I think I told you the story, and
I
you
don't
said
remember
it
this
was
one.
because supposedly your parents are worried that scam callers will try to call
Oh
them and
yeah, and
get
you
them
say
to say
yes.
yeses or nos.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was never answering my question.
That's so
Hung
funny.
up, and I was like, I don't know what happened there, but I called
Yes.
him and he didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, you guys should watch out for that. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. They might have kind of cleaned that up, But there used to be big scammers where they'd call and they'd be like, hey, is this Jim? And then you'd be like, yes. And what they would do is they'd have on this at the same time another call, a three-way call. And they'd be like signing you up for a credit card or something. And that'd be like your voice authentication would be actually you saying yes. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard that before, but I couldn't see it. I mean, it's in the realm of possibility these days.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
yeah. Okay, so the next one is the law of close encounters. The
Close
probability,
encounters.
yeah, the probability of meeting someone you know increases dramatically when you're with someone you don't want to be seen with.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I feel like this doesn't really happen to me because I don't typically hang out with people that I don't want to be seen with.
No,
But
it happens when you're younger. Like when you're
yeah,
in middle school or high school and your parents come. It's like the one time your mom comes, the whole class is full. And like
yeah,
everybody's not doing anything. And your mom interrupts the whole classroom or something.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's another one. Also, I see that all the time. I don't know if it's on the list, but when, let's say you were studying and you were studying all night, and then you finally took a break to play like an hour
Oh
video
yeah.
game or something. That's when your mom would show up and be like, "I thought you were studying." I have been. I swear, this is the 1 hour that I decided to take a break. Like, yeah, okay, well, the whole time I've come to check on you.
Every time I checked on you,
Yeah.
you were playing games.
I was like, well, that's because you didn't check on me when I was actually studying.
Yeah. We were bad students when we were younger.
It's okay. It worked out in the end.
Worked out in
Right?
the end.
Okay, so number 6 we'll skip because we already went through. That was the
Yeah.
law of result.
Hmm.
Number 7, the law of biomechanics. The severity of the itch is inversely proportional to the reach. So the harder it is to reach somewhere, the worse the itch is. I know I've had this, and I've had to
Wait.
like
Oh, inversely proportional to the reach. They could have just said proportional to the distance.
trying to sound fancy.
Yeah, they could have just said proportional to distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of where you can reach. So
Yeah.
it's just like right in the center of your back where you just can't reach it unless you got long arms. I don't know if you can reach this
I don't
area.
have that problem. I can reach anywhere. I have
Yeah,
long
okay.
arms. Yep.
I have short arms and I got like a little bit of blockage.
Yeah, there used to be a thing where like you had to do like yeah, I forget how you did it. You had to like reach back and do it. And I
Yeah.
remember I did it and my sister could do it like pretty easily. And both my parents couldn't do it.
It might also just come with age. Like you can maybe try it
Sure.
now.
I mean, I'm feeling old now, right now.
But yeah, I know I've had some itches in certain sections of the back that I'll have to use an edge of a wall or something.
There's no shame. There's no shame in that, Steve.
But then that goes into the other law of the stupidity of the act. Someone always catches me doing that. Like, Steve, are you twerking on the wall? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you, a bear? What's going on? Have you ever had that happen where you get like you pull that muscle right in your back, like on the wings of your back,
Uh-huh.
and like it's like right back there,
Right, right.
and it's like a little below your shoulder, and you're like your back muscles there, and like to get it, you just have to be right up against the corner of a wall, just like smush
Yeah,
it in.
just to smush it in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
tried to massage it with my other arm
No, it's
or
not enough.
whatever, and then I end up like hurting this
That's right.
arm, just trying to reach in next to the other one. I was
Yeah.
like,
It's
No, I
weird because like when you have a sore muscle and you're like sore from exercising, but it's a good sore, massaging feels good, but also you could stretch, or also like, it's not a pain. But like
Right.
when you like pull a muscle like a tear or whatever, it actually hurts and like you want to get it and just like beat it in.
Well, there's certain ones because I know I've pulled my back before, and I didn't want anything touching my back. Just
You're-
wanted to lie down straight, not do anything. That was a bad one. That was the worst one I've had.
Wow.
Okay, number 8, the law of the theater and arena. At
Okay.
any event, the people whose seats are furthest from the aisle always arrive last. They are the ones who will leave their seats several times to go for food, beer, or the toilet, and who leave early. The folks in the aisle seats come early, never move once, have long, gangly legs or big bellies, and stay to the bitter end of the performance. I think that's trying to say, um, you get upset that when you're in the back because the people in front of you just never seem to leave.
Hmm.
That you can't get like a better view of them.
Yeah, because like I always sit on the aisles because I do pee during the movies,
That's right.
and I can't imagine why anyone who does that would want to sit in the middle. Like, is it fun scooching past people?
Like walking past people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
with air.
I was gonna say on airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. On long trips. It depends. If it's at night, I like the window, and then I'll take the hit for climbing over people, just because I'll have my head against the wall to
Right.
sleep. It's a lot better than trying to sleep in place.
Yeah, it's
You know.
hard.
Um, but if it's during the day, yeah, aisle seat all the way, so that way you can just get up and
Hmm.
walk around, stand up. And
Yeah. I do
that,
I do the
yeah,
aisle, and like I actually don't mind when people ask me to get up, or even if they wake me up, because you should kind of get up anyway throughout the plane, walk around, or just like stand up. It's not
that's
good
right.
to sit for that long. It's like if you get up every, hour because the guy next to you has to get up, that's still fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but you do feel like you're inconveniencing people.
Well, they'll feel bad. Hmm. I feel fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I did have it on one of my trips. I had it where the person had the window, and this was like a 7-hour flight. She didn't get up, and not only did she not get up, she didn't even get food or water. Like we sat on the plane, boom, she's out. Like we didn't even take off. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I've seen that happen.
she
Yeah.
might have taken medicine or something because she just literally passed out. And then the food people came, and I looked at her and I was like, I don't think she wants to wake up. Like there's sometimes you could tell people are kind of in and out and they're like looking for the food, but this
Yeah.
girl definitely didn't. So then like the second course comes later on, didn't, and then when dessert came, I was just like, at this point, you missed your meal, you don't get dessert. Like that's how it works.
I'll take her dessert.
Yeah, well that's what happens. Like with the meals, sometimes they have like the meal tray, and then they'll give you like a piece of bread, a salad, and then like a cookie. And when she
Right.
didn't want hers, I was like, cookie times two.
I'll take hers.
Yeah, I'll take hers. I don't want it to go to waste.
um, yeah. Okay, so number 9, Murphy's Law of Lockers. If there are only 2 people in a locker room, they will have adjacent locker. I don't know. I don't know how often that happens.
No.
Someone seems to have been traumatized while making
Yeah,
this list.
someone was definitely traumatized. Because in our locker room, that almost never happened.
Yeah, even in gym locker rooms, like I don't typically have, somebody immediately
Yeah.
adjacent
I mean,
to
I
me.
remember I had some of my friends near me in my gym locker room for like changing for gym or whatever sport we did, but it was really rare that like we were all there at the same time and like all changing right next to each other with the locker. Like I don't even, maybe once or twice.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
it does get awkward if there's like the multi-level ones
Oh yeah.
and somebody has the locker above you.
Hmm.
You're like, how do we manage this without like someone being in someone's crotch?
Well, like I don't know how you did it in gym, but like we would get our clothes and then change to the side of the lockers because
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of room near the lockers.
yeah. You would do it on the bench.
Yeah, on the bench, right. So like you would just take your clothes off the locker and then you change back there, and the other guy could come in and get his stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so let us know if you
Hmm.
guys have this
Traumatized.
review frequently, because I don't think it's happened to either of us. Yeah. Okay, last one. The law of logical argument. Anything is possible if you don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I feel like this one could be a whole episode. Just,
Okay.
whenever you try to argue with people, they start throwing in facts all over the place. And, like, you remember that time you did this? I was like, what? When? When did I do that? I've never done that. So
Right.
yes, you have. You've done it several times on several occasions. Like, wow, I don't remember a single time.
So I think we could take that and make a real law out of it. And I'm guilty of this just as much. In all arguments, people go straight to the extremes. You just said it. It's like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
instead of just arguing or talking about whatever, they go straight to the always and never. Like,
Right.
You've never liked ice cream. Now you want ice cream. It's like I'm sure you've had ice cream before, right? It's like those kind of arguments.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Then you have to say, remember that one time I had ice cream with you? And then I'm like, oh yeah, but that wasn't ice cream. That was frozen yogurt. And like, and now, right, and now you're arguing over things that have nothing to do with the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know if you ever try to have a political or religious argument with anybody, sometimes people will just be hypocritical. And how do you even argue with people who are hypocritical if you're like, you give an argument one way, and then someone says, oh, well, what about in this occasion? Like, oh, well, that's a different story.
That doesn't count because we're talking about this.
But that's like in that specific context. You're like, what?
That happens all the time. We might have to do an episode on arguing because we argue a lot. You and me argue a lot.
We do sometimes.
I feel like we argue almost kind of like how a team would argue, where you're arguing, but only because you want the other person to not only agree but like be in the right place.
Right.
Whether it's like a food or whether it's like, something more serious. Whereas other people argue to just be right. And I think that's also in and of itself kind of funny. Like I'm not.
It's not that we never argue to be the correct one.
Sure.
Yes. We try to, but I think it's rare that Jim and I argue to the point of being angry at each other.
Oh, it's rare. We've had a few fights. Actually, I can only remember one fight really. Oh, there was one a long time ago we had at my parents' house, and I remember we had a fight, and this was back in that playroom area, and I don't remember anything about the fight. I just remember. I only remember that we fought and we were upset at each other, and that room had two computers, and we turned our backs to each other, and we're like, I'm not playing games with you anymore.
So I didn't leave your house.
You were still up. Well, this was back during like high school and middle, whenever we were together. So like maybe high school, and like you couldn't leave. I think it was like a mom drop off kind of a situation.
Oh yeah.
And then I think what happened was you wanted to go home because of the fight, or I asked you to go home or whatever. We were trying to leave. And my mom came in and was like, you two are so nice, don't argue. And then we were like, okay. And then that was it. And that was it.
It was probably past the moment anyways.
Yes, yeah, it was past the moment. Mm-hmm.
I know that happens. That probably happens to a lot of people where you're like, you feel it right in the moment, and then you'll wait like 15 minutes or something, and you'll say, you know what, that person was right. But in that moment, no, they were dead wrong.
That's right.
How dare they say otherwise?
And it's kind of interesting because, like, with some people, being right is more important than like the experience you're having. And if you have friends or family like that, what's that? Drives you crazy? Yeah. So like, but you might if you realize that. You realize the other person is like wrong, or the other person is unwilling to have a conversation. They're like arguing. You might just concede and be like, you know what? I know they're wrong, but I'm going to agree so we get past this because I'm uncomfortable, or like I'm in a bad place. And like now they're just insulting me. I don't want
because I'm a type of person that
you don't
I don't really care about things a lot, and so if someone's gonna be dead set in an argument, I'll just be like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna move on. You know.
Unless you're dead set.
Yeah, there's very rare occurrences that I'm dead set. Well, it depends, but for the most
When we play games, all these rules are out the window too, by the way. Like that is in the gaming moment. Whether it's
I was gonna say,
soccer.
I think all of our main arguments happened in games.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
I
for
thought.
sure. And as soon as the games end, it's like as if it never happened, which is really weird. Like you can compartmentalize your friendship. You know, like
Yeah.
oh, we remember we were playing that one game. It was you, me, and the two other friends we had, and
Oh,
it was a board game, and we were like trying to decide what to do as a group, and I was going one way, and I think you were in the middle, and the other person was going the other way, and then the fourth person just like didn't care,
oh, I remember
and
this
we
game.
were just yelling, literally
Oh,
yelling, and
my favorite.
and yeah.
Loved it.
And we were yelling to the point where like we didn't even care to win. I was like, that's it. I'm going to sabotage all of you for not agreeing. And then you guys are like, no, but if we agree, we're going to be lost. But if we don't agree, we're going to get sabotaged. What are we going to do? And
Okay, I feel like there needs to be some context here because I know exactly what happened. This is a game where some of the players are actually trying, like the way they win is if everyone else loses.
no, no, not that game.
Not
I'm
that
talking
game
about the other game.
where I shot you. You
Okay,
so
that did happen and I did get very upset.
and
Be-
it's in the game shoot. I didn't actually
Right,
shoot you.
right. I was talking about the one where we were at your house and we had to choose a direction to go. And I
Oh,
wanted to go
okay.
one way, which looked like a
Right.
shortcut,
I
but
remember
but we
this. Yeah.
didn't explore it.
Yeah.
And one of the other players on our team wanted to go the other way. And unfortunately, you need to agree on where you need to go in that game.
In the end, you need to agree. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
The game tries to mediate that by making one person the like leader,
That's
and
right.
they have the say of it all. Was I the leader for that one? And I
I
had to choose
Well, what ended
between.
up happening was we each get to be a leader at some point. And when it was my turn to be the leader, I just went and did the thing, even though you guys didn't agree.
Yeah, no matter what we were doing, we were like in the
Right.
middle of something. You're like, no, no, I'm the leader now. We're
Yeah,
going
I'm like,
back.
yep, we're going back, wasting our time to go this way. Yeah,
That's right. Purposely sabotaged
right.
everything that
And
we were
and
doing.
in that game, we were yelling a lot, like a
That's
lot
right.
of arguing.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, it's weird because as soon as we like close up the game, it's like, what do you want to eat? You know, it's
Yeah.
like he's literally. But I think that also says something.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
think
shows
that says something about our friendship too, and maybe how we are as people.
right.
Like I'm not gonna hold a grudge on anybody. I'd rather just remove it from, the situation.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Um, I do want to tell this story though about, and I don't know if it's
the
gonna
one where you shot me.
shot you. Yeah,
You were
because
wrong, if that's what you want
I was wrong, but he was being hella suspicious.
to.
All it
Suspicious.
was like the beginning of the game, and he just says, "Steve, shoot that guy." One of our other friends. I was like, "Why?" Obviously, whatever he did, Steve, means he's trying to sabotage us. I was like, "Why?" I mean, it could be anything. He just played that. It could mean anything. It's like, no, Steve, shoot him. Shoot him, or I will shoot him. Shoot, that was an ultimatum to me at that point, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do at this point? And those two, Jim and this other guy, were just yelling at each other to the top of their lungs and just arguing about what they were gonna do, who was sabotaging who. And I said, screw it, Jim, I'm shooting you. What? That wasn't even part of the thing. That's it. I'm shooting you, Jim.
You played that game like people vote in elections. I literally gave you facts, and you were like,
Right, first of all, I do want to clarify to everyone, he was also wrong.
I was also wrong, but I was less wrong than you.
No, you acted all crazy.
No,
trying to
I was
really
less
make me.
wrong. Like what you did was worse. Shooting me was worse than shooting him.
Feel like We're starting the argument again.
But that's what happens in elections like that. Where like I'm explaining things to Steve, and he's like, you know what? I don't like the way you're explaining it to me. Boom, boom, gotcha. Like, what?
Wild card.
That's right, wild card. Yeah, but yeah, that was a fun game. But yeah, we do argue a lot, but it's for fun. We'll have to
Yeah.
do an episode on arguing, like greatest arguments or silliest arguments we've seen, because I've seen a lot of silly ones.
Uh, things on like arguments on Twitter would be funny to do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good ones.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
But anyways, it looks like we're just about out of time. Did you want to leave any closing arguments?
Closing arguments? What? I guess I'll say, since the quarantine's lifting, I'm gonna put a prediction in now for the quarantine COVID cases. I mean, you're welcome to put one in too.
Okay.
So here's my prediction.
What, like an actual number, or are you just
No,
gonna say
no,
it's
just
gonna
like what we
rise?
think's gonna happen. So I think what's gonna happen is on the area that we are, the East Coast, they're gonna lift the quarantine in the phases like they're doing, and it will steady off and then slowly, slowly decline. And we'll always have a few COVID cases around, but there won't be that many for the next few months. But I think for the West Coast and for the Midwest, it's going to rise. They're going to also open because everybody wants to be equal. And
That's
then
right.
they will open and it will be bad, especially in like California
Prediction.
area. Yeah. And then
I actually think numbers are gonna rise here with everything opening, but everyone's just gonna try to ignore it.
Oh, so you think they're going to be like
Yeah.
so you think the number's going to go up, but the news and the people are going to say, yeah, COVID still looks like it's on its way down. We're all opening up. Everything's
It's
good.
up and down. Who knows what's gonna happen? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what is your prediction for how it'll be impacted when they start opening airports internationally, but also here locally?
Yeah, that I don't know. That's what worries me the most. This when you start traveling and bringing people together all over the place.
Yeah.
That's what worries.
Well, we'll have to see next time.
Yep. Anyways, thanks again, everyone, for joining. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribing to us on YouTube and Twitter, and any of your podcast sites. We are Creativity Level Zero, but on Instagram, we are Creativity_Level_Zero, the number. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.